same month, we'll be teaching the same program at Vancouver School Board, Continuing Education, which will be held in the auditorium of Prince of Wales High School, which is just down here on Edmonton, off by the Arbutus Mall. And so the reason for tonight's little 2-hour seminar was to give us an opportunity to stand up and speak in front of you, to iron out some of the kinks, get your helpful criticism as to what we left out or what we could add, or some of the things that you'd prefer to see in the program. I realize this is not a 9-hour program, it's just 2 hours, but some of the things that you would be interested in or problems that you've touched on in your life, and we didn't have to touch on them here. So I think you all have a little questionnaire. If you could fill that out and leave it behind for us at the front desk. You needn't put your name on it. We'd just like your wisdom that we can use it in the future. Really appreciate that. This is going to be an informal discussion or seminar, and we certainly do encourage your questions. The evening will be spent in about 3 parts. One with a lecture period, 2 with the video, if we can get it going, 3 with a slide presentation, and 4 with 2 architectural models, which you'll find in the front 2 closing rooms. Just a little advertisement for the architects who were so kind to give us these models. The first model is by Ben Lane, and his company tends to specialize in single-family residential real estate on the west side of town. However, he'll build you a house anywhere you like it. And the model that we have is a custom-built $2,500,000 house built at the corner of Osler and Balfour in Shaughnessy 1. The second model that we have has been donated, well, not donated, but lent to us by James Chang. And James Chang has just completed the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce building in Carousel here, and we have that model. So at the end of the program, we can adjourn to the front 2 closing rooms, and we can, Joseph Yip will give us all the positive aspects of what was incorporated in those 2 buildings. Does anybody have any questions about what we're doing or what we're going to schedule it? Now, first of all, we have to thank you all for coming. You are a select group as far as we're concerned. You're select in the fact that most of you have had some exposure to feng shui in your life previous, or your heritage or background dictates that you were born to some of that philosophy. Am I right? Anybody outside of that realm? No? The other thing is that everybody in the room is associated with real estate. So we're pretty much birds of a feather here flocking together. Some of us are architects, some are realtors, some are putting to this information from the same perspective. What we're here tonight to do is to maybe bring a few fresh ideas to your consciousness, which you'll be able to use in the future, and hopefully you'll stay linked with us as time goes on, where we can all learn together and do big things together. So we really do appreciate you coming and giving your support tonight. How are we making out on TV? We're not making.
Getting there.
Okay.
I stopped reading it in French.
Okay, well, I think we'll get started with the program. Probably the best time to ask the question is to how many people have an understanding or have inside of them a belief or a feeling that they know what feng shui is, or better question might be is who doesn't? Who here is brand new to it, doesn't know anything about it, or it's a question mark. So just about everybody has had some exposure to it. Okay, well, the first thing that we would like to impart to you is that you don't have to be a believer in feng shui in order to be practicing. As a matter of fact, from the beginning of your time, from all of our time, we've been practicing feng shui. And what I mean by that is that the world is really a culmination of yin and yang, or on and off, or binary code in computers, 0 and 1, or the plug's unplugged or the plug's plugged in, positive current or no current. So when you're faced in life with a decision to make, and you say, oh, I've got two variables. The two variables are, I'm going to do it, or I'm not going to do it. And the choices that you choose from can be basically pared down to 1 and 2. Life is not a horse race. You can't say as real estate, well, I came second best on that offer last week. What you did was you came last. You either came first or you lost. There's no third place in the race. Well, every decision we make is like that. The women, you don't get half pregnant. You either are or you're not. You're either alive or you're dead. Okay, so when you have a choice of 4 properties to choose from, what you have to do is narrow the 4 to 2 and pick the best. Now, if you have the information to make the decision, it makes life a little easier. If you don't have the information, it's a toss of the coin. It's a 50-50 situation with you. You could be right, you could be wrong. Just understand, there's always a better answer than a 50-50 toss of the coin. So in my earlier example, the yin and the yang of life, you're all familiar with the circle and the crescent shapes. One's white, one's black. In the center of the white, we have the seed. The white is the male, the seed of the female is inside it, the black. And on the black side, we have the little white dot. Is everybody with me? Or should I draw it on the board? Everybody knows? Yeah. Okay. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, that philosophy. And I'm going to take you back in time to 1492. 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. In 1490, the world believed that the known world believed that we lived on a flat surface. And if you sailed west from Europe, you'd fall off the edge of the world. But Christopher Columbus, hi Bing, how are you? Bing, how are you? Christopher Columbus had this feeling or premonition when he was out at sea, away from the land, that when he looked at the horizon, he noticed that there was a bit of a curvature. And he felt that maybe the world wasn't flat. He also realized that Marco Polo came from China overland to Europe. He brought the spices and the silk trade. And he felt that if he was going to fall off the edge of the world, why couldn't he fall off the edge of the world without having to be on water? So he had this idea that the world was more like an orange than like the surface of a table. So he went to his own queen, and he told her about this philosophy. And she said, and he asked for money to fund an expedition so he could sail west and go around the world and come back to China and then bring it overland. And she said, well, you're crazy. You're going to sail off the edge of the world, you're going to lose all my money, and you're not going to bring us any riches. Forget it, it's suicide. So what he did was, he went to not his queen, but the Queen of Spain. He didn't tell her anything about his plan. Just remember, a businessman is not a businessman if he tells anybody else's business. So what Christopher decided to do was, don't tell her what he was doing. Just say, look, if you fund my expedition, I will find a route to China. I will bring you back all the trade. It'll all be yours. The wealth will be yours. The recognition will be mine. She said that's fair. So she funded the expedition. He sailed west. Didn't tell his sailors with him what he was up to. Just went out and did it. Well, he bumped into North America. When he got back in 1493, everybody knew the world wasn't flat. He had proved it was round. We say he proved it. He didn't prove anything. It always was. From the beginning of time, the world was round. It was just in 1490, everybody believed it was flat. That is the difference between good qi and bad qi. Qi is all the known knowledge that there ever is to be. The known knowledge at that point in time, in 1490, was the world was flat. They were practicing bad qi or bad feng shui. The fact of the matter, the flip of the coin was, it might be round. Well, he proved it was round, and a year later the whole world knew it was round. Now we're practicing good qi or good feng shui. Okay, now I want to bring you up in time a little bit to 1950. We're all sitting in this room, and we're talking about space travel. And I tell you that before I pass on, hopefully upstairs, I'm going to have the chance of walking on the moon. And I intend fully to walk on the moon. And most of you look at me and say, this guy's either smoking dope or he's lost his marbles because there's not a hope he's going to walk on the moon. Now it's 1993, and I'm standing in front of you, and I tell you before I pass on, I'm going to walk on the moon. Is that such a crazy idea? Can you believe that? In 1950, you wouldn't believe it. In 1993, is there anybody here that doubts me? So the point is, in 1950, man didn't have the capability of understanding what I was talking about. That was we were all practicing, well, you guys were, practicing bad feng shui. Or bad qi. Because we didn't have the knowledge. But the knowledge was there. The knowledge has always been there. We just found out about it somewhere in the 60s. And now we do it on a regular basis with the Hubble spacecraft and the camera, doing incredible things. So now we say, can we reach the furthest point in outer space? Oh no, can't do that. Well, why not? It's out there. It's always been out there. It'll always be out there. Yeah, we'll get there. Okay. Now, we all work in the field of real estate, and what you have to know is that the ancient Asian philosophy of feng shui is based on scientific facts. There's no hocus pocus, there's no having to believe in it. It is. And our feng shui master, Joseph Yip, in a few minutes will give us a more detailed and in-depth look at really what the principles of feng shui is all about. But what I can tell you is that these scientific principles are things that happen all the time. And if we use them to benefit in our day-to-day work, we're going to benefit our clientele. If we don't use them, what we're really saying is we've got a 50% chance of making a right decision and probably a 50% chance of making a wrong one. The peculiar thing that I've discovered in the 20 years that I've been in the real estate business is that the real estate that I've enjoyed working with the most and the people I've enjoyed working with the most are the people who seem to have a real tied-in gut feel about the real estate they're working with. Now, I've always said that women have women's intuition and men have gut feel. Believe it, you've got it. And when you deal in real estate, use that second knowledge. If you use this, your brain, you're going to lose. We're not dealing with rationale when it comes to dealing in real estate. You can't figure real estate. It doesn't figure. It's not an exact science. A pound of dirt and a pound of lumber does not make a house. Okay? So the point is that you have to feel good about the real estate that you get involved in. If you're an architect, you have to feel good about the client you're dealing with, the project they've asked you to develop, the end result, and in effect, persuade them or sell them on the idea that the benefits of your structure and the location of your site are going to be most enhancing to their life. And that's nothing more than feng shui. Because feng shui is the principle of man living in harmony with his environment. And the two words, feng shui, is wind and water. So that's the transfer of air currents over the land to the water. The other thing people say, well, I tried this out, or my grandparents tried this out when they were 40, and my father tried it when he was 40, and now I'm 40, and I'm trying it. And it worked for the grandparents, and kind of worked for mom and dad, but it sure doesn't work for me. Well, nothing is static in life. We age day by day. The world turns day by day. And the horoscope, or the movement of all the bodies, the heavenly bodies, move continually from the beginning of time and will continue to turn. And all of that has a direct relation on how you live in harmony in your world, regardless of whether it's on West 43rd or whether it's in Hong Kong somewhere. And more directly, if the neighbor across the street knocked down his house, instantly that happening has a direct effect on your lifestyle. And as somebody once said, if they're starting to drive piles, pile driver, boom, 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 6 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night, if you're working out of your office in the basement, I would suggest that your harmony just went out the window. Okay? That's how they're having an effect on your lifestyle. So yeah, if they knock the house down across the street, call me, I'll list your property and move you to a quiet street. Okay? So yes, we do have to change. Everything isn't static, and feng shui explains this. So what all this really means is that everything's always changing. The architects have to develop and think of new plans, new sites to develop, and make those sites most harmonious to the other properties that are adjoining it. Developers have to take that lead and build the property, and contractors have to make sure the thing stands in the air for at least 40 years. And the realtors, we're charged with the responsibility of marketing that product to the public, getting their understanding of what the product is and what it'll do for them, and making them feel happy about where they live. Okay, what I would like to do now is introduce our feng shui master, Joseph Yip. Can you come on up, Joseph? Now, some of you have met Joseph before. I've not known Joseph that long, but in the short 6 weeks, has it been about 6 weeks?
Yeah, almost.
Almost 6 weeks. We've become really good friends. Not only have I learned that he's really good at what he does, but he's also very open in sharing all the wisdom that he has. And I think if you've ever been in touch with a maestro in music or a top chef, and you go and eat some of his food at a fancy restaurant, you say, gee, that was a fantastic meal, I want to shake your hand. Can you give me the recipe? Have you ever got the recipe? Did he ever give you the recipe? It's got some lemon, it's got some eggs in it. You do a little of this and a little of that, throw in a little salt, a little sugar, and stick it in the oven for a while, and you got the lemon souffle. Yeah, but where's the magic? Well, Joseph's the kind of guy that gives you the magic. I took him through 2, hopefully, brand new listings of mine. These are properties that are just under construction. And I was concerned about some of the points that were being built into these houses. And I asked Joseph if he would just take the time to come and have a look at the houses, and he said, sure, he'd do that. And when I walked, he'd never seen these properties before a day in his life. Never seen them, right? I walked him in the front door. He wasn't in the house 5 seconds. He says, gotta do something about this, gotta change this, gotta do this. And rather than just being critical, he said, this is the way you do it. He had the instant answer. Not a lot of money, and if it was a major change, where in one case the stairway came down like this and made a convex, in other words, an arc like this, a rounded arc toward the front door, that's being offensive. But if I put my arms out like this and bring the stairway down so that it is round, which way does it go? Round like this, then it's inviting you in the front door. Well, you can't change the staircase after it's already been built. So he suggested what you could do about changing some of the things in the front hall to accommodate it. So that's what I really recognize in Joseph. He's a very practical individual. The world is not perfect. He sees it as it is and tries to enhance it. And this is what he's going to leave with you tonight, and hopefully we can develop on it in the future. He's been in the business of feng shui for over 25 years. He says he's always held a very low profile, and he's just kind of coming out of the woodwork now, but he's been on just about every major television station throughout the United States, Canada, Hong Kong, Japan, you name it, he's been there. So if that's low profile, I'm really excited to see what he looks like in high profile. But at any rate, he's a rather humble person, and you've got to drag the news out of him. So if he isn't coming across with exactly what you want to hear, ask the question, and I'm sure Joseph will respond. Joseph? Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I have to write down something before I start because, you know, I can't speak English well. Just before I come, I drop down the main point, and then I will start my speak. Well, thank you to join our meetings. I would like to take this opportunity to share my feng shui knowledge with you. On the coming 1 or 1.5 hours, well, may I request you to get ready to be patient to suffer my speak. As you know, English is my second language, and feng shui is the most scientific and specialist, and it is not easy to explain and not easy to understand it. Even you are the Chinese. But if you have any question during when I speak, please do not hesitate and give me raise your wandering on the street, you are easy to pick up a certain numbers of beautiful buildings over there. So, because most of the house, they have a very good design and it was already done by the architect. Both of their job are excellent. Well, and also as well as we have a beautiful view in Vancouver. So when you're sitting in your home, you are enjoying, you are relaxing. Well, you like sitting in the garden. Well, everything surrounding you is beautiful. Well, you enjoy your will, you enjoy your house, but our son will getting poor and poor on the future. Why? It's because our country, Canada, is going to be bankrupt because they do not know how to get benefit from the nature. So, even at the moment you are living in a beautiful house or you are selling a beautiful house, but it doesn't mean you will get any benefit from this house. It doesn't mean soon after you move into this house, you will get a good health or you will get a real benefit from that house. So, under such theory, I would like to presenting the feng shui knowledge. This is an Asian, well, it's a long time. Some of my instructor told me it's over 80,000 years. But I can't believe his knowledge, the source of his knowledge is so long. But at least it is minimum not later than 4,000 years. And the principles of the feng shui theory is come from the Chinese religions. It's called the Taoism. There are two religions it was so popular in China. One is Buddhism. Buddhism is come from the India, and other is Taoism. Taoism is a real original Chinese religions. Well, their principal feeling is about the yin and yang. You have many chance to see a symbol like this. Well, this location is a bad feng shui. I'm shooting from these two corners. So that's why I take off my clothes. I try to get cold myself. This is called Tai Chi. The Tai Chi was combined with two parts. One, the white part is represent the positive, and the dark is represent the negative. Two parts are equal to each other by ratio. And as a matter of fact, this shape is according to the Chinese, one of the Chinese famous river is called Yellow River. Have you ever heard that? One is Yangtze Kong, another is Yellow River, and another river is flowing to the Korea. That is another street. Well, because the shape is like this, so the ancient Chinese, they have an image. He said, every creature in the world, if they can keep their life along, well, they must have the equal components with negative, with positive, and negative. Such as before our Earth come to be solid, they come from a state of gas. They are not solidated. While they are so flexible, they will be pressed, and then the shape it change all the time. And because it's still obtaining too much heat, so it cannot come to be a solid state. Some other day, some other time, when the times after and after, it come to a solid state. So once when they come to a solid state, you will see what happens in our Earth. There is a mountain, and the lower part is the water. And the mountain is keep on changing because it's still not solidated, it's still changing. And because the shape of the mountain changing, and that's why the river change at the same time. Okay? So let's go back to mention about the energy. What is negative energy and positive energy? The theories, we say, suppose this is the Earth, the surface of the Earth. This is the mountain. The heat in the mountain, if they got too much heat, because the heat, the weight of the heat is light, is always ascending, and the cold energy is always descending. So if too much heat, the heat will be ascended and going up. That's why we can separate by two. Yang is positive and yin is negative. When it's too much heat because it was light, so heat is positive. Cold is the negative energy. Heat, because it was light, so light is positive, and heavy is negative. Because of the heat always ascending and cold always descending. So ascending and descending is negative. So that's why the builder, he put the air condition on the top and let the cold air to drop to occupy your room area. And also on the other way, you should put the fire underneath as near the ground and let the heat to be arising. So it is the way for you to save the energy. Okay? And because the heat, they are arising, they are belonging to the explode motion. And the heat is belonging to contracted motion. So explode like a dynamite. It's a positive motion. And contract is a negative motion. So because the explode, they have a fast motion. So the fast is the positive. Slow motion is the negative. Men always do the job. They have a fully energy. They have a fast reaction. So that's why male is belonging to positive. and female, they can suffer. They absorb your angry. That's why the female is belonging to negative. And also because the heat applies the light. So that's why in the daytime it's positive. Light is positive. Dark is the negative. Okay, there are still many we have to concern. It's not their theory, they cannot jump over from this negative and positive. Okay, let's temporarily keep this concept in our mind and return to this mountain. When we go to if you pay attention, if you have a if you have a research about the population in the whole world, you will find one thing is interesting. Many people, they don't like to, not many people, they like to live near the North Pole or the South Pole because it's too cold. There are too many negative energy. They are not balancing, they are not suitable for the human being. So when you get cold, you have to put your clothes on. When you get feeling cold, you have to put your clothes on. Because why? Because you are trying to balance your negative and positive energy. Okay. So, and same theory. So when we try to use these components of negative and positive energy, we like to stay the place where they have the equal positive and negative energy. And this would be the best place for you to choose, for you to live, for you to keep alive. So, how can we find where the neutral energy is situated? On the Asians, Chinese, they don't have much equipment. What they have to use their experience. Well, they flew their eyes to know why. Let's rub it off. Let's come back to the mountain and water. This mountain, the heat was vaporizing. Its go ascending, so when they come to a certain level, they suddenly catch cold. They will change the energy from positive to negative and going down. Is that right? The energy has been changed from positive, they are rising, and suddenly they get cold, they will change and drop down again. This is negative. So the energy can be changed, the first theory. So when the negative energy to drop over the ground, it was absorbed underneath the ground. So underneath the ground, they are absorbing too much negative energy. When the negative energy is too much, they come up on the surface and flow on the surface of the earth. They form the river or creek. So that's why inside the earth, inside is the negative. When they go flow on top of the surface, negative can change to positive. Because I tell you, the movement, something moving is belonging to positive energy. Something they keep stable, sit still, not move, they don't have emotion, they are belonging to negative. So in under such theory, when we arrive at a village, maybe that village is not has not developed yet, has not become a big capital. No, we are the explorer. When we go to on the stranger place, we try to find out where the location is best for our son to live, to keep alive, to keep healthy. So we have to look from the shape of the mountain and also where the river flows, So under such theory, let's use another diagram. This mountain. This is another mountain. The water always on the lower part of the mountain, here. Is that right? The mountain is shaped like this. And the river and the water will follow the shape to flow from here, from the higher side, to a lower level. So, the first point, we should find where the energy flows. We must know the way to follow the river. Follow the river. That means where the river is going to, that means they are carrying the negative energy and positive energy to there. Now, China. They are going to have a big change. Why? Because three sources of energy. One is Yan Qi Gong, another is Yellow River, and yet Yan Qi Gong is going to be changed because some reason. Maybe they use it as to build a reservoir or something like that. That's why he digs the river, he guides the river from this to over there. So the energy in China is going to change. And whether the energy will cause a good effect or a bad effect is all depending who they are consulting, who is the master they are consulting. Okay? Let's come back to Canada. Do you have a map of Vancouver City?
I have a globe. Is that any help? I don't have a big map.
A small map maybe.
Of Canada?
No, Vancouver is enough.
Not that too.
Okay, maybe we can do this. This is Vancouver, North Vancouver. This is Fraser River, Richmond. Yes, thank you. Can you see the red pot?
No. You have to turn the lights up.
Turn lights on.
The lights are great.
Okay.
Front wall, the lights on. Turn the lights up, we're not going to see the map.
That'll work.
That'll work.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that should be enough.
Well,
You see the red dot?
you see the red dot? Well, this is Vancouver. This is Vancouver. This is Barnett Inlet. So first we come to the Vancouver city. If you are the developer, you should know which place it will be developed on first. So that's why if you know, you will put the money to buy the lands, and that land, after you sell, you will earn a lot of money. They have a theory, but we have to do some calculations. Well, when we come to Vancouver, first intention we have to know is about where the river flows. Now, as we know, the river flows is come from the Indian Arm and through the Barnett Inlet and go out to the North Pacific Ocean. Is that right? This is the first river flow.
Can I just make one statement? Just to translate for Joseph, when he speaks of a river, he's talking about the current, the flow of the water course. I mean, we're talking the ocean here, but it's the same river.
Okay. And the second water can change, can give the fortunes for the whole Vancouver, can affect the Vancouver city is about the Fraser River. So after I explain to that, you will understand why the new Westminster have some days before it is very good land. They have a high cost, but now suddenly it dropped. Why? You will understand. So when the water's energies they carry over here and over here go through the second narrow. You see this part is more narrow than the width of this part, and also the other part. So that all the energy are gathering together and try to escape through this part. And suddenly it comes to the larger space, and the energy will correcting over here, Barnett Inlet, and then try to escape away. But it was stopped by the Stanley Park. They like an arm, try to stop. Nobody to run out. Every 10, you have to go 2. 8 of them have to stay over here. So all the energy will be gathering together around this area. That's why the first place in Vancouver was developed is the downtown, because the energy is the gathering together. This is the first station they have to stop over here. So the energy was explained through this area. You catch what I mean? Okay. Now, why the New Westminster on some days before they have a good time, but at the moment they don't have. So let's pay attention about the river. When the Fraser River over here, and also it was stopped over here because this part was narrow. They try to escape, so this part would be the first time on the path. And suddenly, 1 inlet and 3 outlet. So compare with the ratio by 1 with 3. That means you have only 1 income for energy, but you have 3 outlets for energy to escape. That's why the energy surrounding here was losing so quickly. So that's why New Westminster is not the best place for you to put the money on the future. Well, okay, thank you. now we are understanding the energy, no matter whether it's the positive energy or negative energy, they can be changed. And such like a circle. Sometimes it comes to negative energy, sometimes it comes to positive energy. Okay. If you are facing to two mountains, the energy was carried with the water. They are facing to this way. And because the energy, it comes from the state of positive to negative, so it forms the air current. It is called the wind. That's why in Chinese we call feng. Feng, that means the wind. We call sui. Sui is water. Because we don't have the scientific equipment, that's why we follow the water and find out and where the location the energy was stayed over there. So it is what we call the 用模型去揾，用有形揾模型。How to say? We look at the shape, but because we do not know where the wind.
You get visible to find the invisible.
Visible to find invisible. Yes. That's why we use the visible shape of the mountain,
To find the invisible.
shape of the river, and find out the invisible wing, where they go. Okay? Well, let me use some example. Well, this is car. It's a brand new car, no matter why, no matter what brand. Well, we are driving a car in the winter time. We are feeling a little bit heat. We are feeling a little bit uncomfortable because all the window was locked. I need some fresh air, so that's why I wipe down to form a little bit, to form a gap, so let the fresh air from outside to get inside. But we never know. The strong wind from outside, they try to go in to inside the cabin. They try to balancing the outside energy and inside energy. They go through the gaps and it was direct heading to my head. So the heat of my head's body, the heat of this part is rapidly to losing. So another part of energy of my body is come right away to try the balancing of this part of losing. So in this case, I'm easy to get headache, because too much energy are gathering together. They are rushed on the unequal speed over here. So that's why I have a headache. So on the same reason, we are afraid, direct facing to the gap of the wing, such as this is a mountain, this is a mountain. If you build the house over here, this house is direct understood by this source of energy. No matter this is a negative energy or positive energy, well, it still have a damage to this house. If they're coming is the positive energy, well, they are running sort of negative energy. If they come, their coming is belonging to the negative energy, this house will running short of positive energy. So in this case, if you live in this house, you will have the effect. What effect? If you are running short of negative energy, the man will easily get sick and even die, because man is belonging to the positive energy. When the positive energy and negative energy is not balanced, no, they will be divorced, or suddenly your wife will become much stronger than you. She try to fight with you every night because she got too much energy, and your energy is going to lose and lose if it is not balancing. Okay, this house will be easy to let a couple to divorce in this case. And more serious, one of them will die. Who will die? The man will die or the female will die? It all depends what the energy they are carrying. One of my best friend, well, he lived in America, in US, in LA. He owned a lot of property. He buy a street of residential building and rent all the rent all this house to the Mexican. Well, it's 2 years ago they have a violence in LA, and well, suddenly he felt a problem. And before the violence happened, 4 years ago, now it's 1993, on that year in 1989. He earned a lot of money. He owned many property. He buy many property. So he's getting rich and rich. On 1989, he employed one feng shui master. He is working the feng shui master in LA. He built a brand new house in the Hollywood. And that house is right in the middle of this gate. And the feng shui master told him, wow, you will become more rich on the future because you get all the energy. Nobody can stop you. But he didn't pay attention. This is the gap. So soon after this house was built, the business suddenly dropped. He lost a lot of money. And also on the last years, and he got a really big problems. He was sued by the U.S. government. Well, because his apartment is too old. It's over 15 years old. There are many things need to maintenance. But because he find economy problems, he don't have the money to put it on the maintenance. So they complain to the U.S. government, and the reporter for the TV and the reporter for the newspaper, everybody's come to sue this guy. He's Chinese. He say, hey, you are Chinese. Why you treat so bad to the poor people? You have nothing. You don't feel. You can't do anything. Try to doing something good for the Mexican people. Well, he said, well, because I have no money. No money. Well, I will put you on the same stage with American. So he clapped this guy and put my friends to compulsory to stay in one of the unit of the apartment. And that apartment is the real, let him to suffer everything on the same condition with American. Do you get what I mean? Well, okay. So he is feeling very, very painful. He tried to phone me up and asked me, Joseph, come, try to help me, find something wrong about my house. I have paid a lot of money in this house. Soon after, this house was a lot of money. Now we are in a really trouble. So I have to do something, but still the problem is not 100% solved. So this is one point. So some of the builder, maybe the builder or the architect, the first thing before they build the house, have an idea. They worry about where the sun rises, where the sun sets, whether my house is under the shadow of the sun. But it do not know where the energy is also affected and also can be changed. For example, I give another tip. Well, if you are the hunter, it's a time. You go to hunting under the sun. Suddenly you see a ship is on the top of the hill. You try to climb up the mountains, try to put him down. And that's it. He's a blind. He cannot see. He is a deaf. He cannot hear. But he can only smell. He can only smell. Do you think you can train in the daytime? Yeah, why?
Because the current is running off the land down to the water. Because it's heating up the electric and then it's heating the water.
No, it's opposite. Well, because the water, the currents will carry up the hill in the daytime. So that's why he will carry your smell and the ship will go. So you will never keep, you can never catch this ship in the daytime. But in the night you do. But in the nighttime you can't, because the currents will run from the water, from the mountain to the water. So he cannot smell your body smell. So you can catch him. So that the position is one thing. The shape of the mountain and the shape of the river is another point we have to notice. And also the daytime and also the horoscope are still affecting me, especially the sun and the moon. So okay. This water mountain. You build the house over here. Your main door is facing to the river. You have two purposes. One purpose is try to correct the energy each side to fit the human being inside. And the second purpose is you have the nice view. So if you are isolated, well, you're 100% right. But you have to pay more attention about your surrounding. For example, the surrounding can change your energy. The shape of the mountain can change the energy flow, and also the shape of the building can cause the air current flow to the different direction. Okay, on the same theory, such as the river flowing this way. The river flow on a smooth way No, because nothing stops it. But if you suddenly put a rock inside the river will go like this. Is that right? So, this is the river you can see. But the air you cannot see through your eye except the equipment. Forget about the equipment. So, on the same theory, when the air current flow, and also it will be changed the direction because your building is there, or somebody building is behind your location. So it will cause the air current flow from the other side. Now you have to choose. This is your building. This is your building. Same mountain, same river. You are on the same location, but your surrounding building is different. Do you think the air current will be the same? Of course not, because it was changed, because your circumstances has been changed. So that's, in this case, we will get more understanding about the energy will be changed. It's not only because B, it's because the surrounding. So when you buy the house, you have to pay more attention what is surrounding around your property. So, such as the tree can cause the wind flow from another direction, such as the opposite building, they build on the irregular shape. They use a triangle to point, such as pointing to you. So you will be affected by this pointer. I can't hear, sorry.
Is the idea that you want to avoid trapping energy such as the wind from the mountain? Or do you want to capture? Or save the wind from the water in the summertime?
No, we are capturing the component energy. We are not capturing the negative energy or the positive energy. So let's go back to the proportion in the earth, the population in the earth. Why the people, they like to gathering together on the place. That place, the weather is always on a good temperature. Because why? Because they like to absorb the neutral energy. They don't like too much negative energy. Nobody like to stay in the North Pole or South Pole. And not many people, they like to live near the equator because too much positive energy. So between the equator and the North Pole and the middle part, around 45 is called the latitude or what's that? Latitude. Yeah, it's about 45-degree latitude. There are many people, there are many population will be stay. This is equator around here. So not many people will like to stay over here, and not many people would like to stay over this North Pole and South Pole because too much negative energy, it is too much positive energy. But between here and here, around this part, you will find more people like to stay over there. Because why? Because they are absorbing the best energy. It is the component energy, combined energy.
These are also the most advanced technological regions in the world. They're temperate zone.
So, and also, now we can explain. Okay, can you see? Well, this is China. This is Canada. China and Canada, they are affected by the river. It's North Pacific Ocean. Because the China, the mountain is on the west side of the water, and the water is on the east side of the land. Okay? The positive energy will flow from the west to the east. And in Canada, it will be opposite. The Canada, the land is on the east side of the water, and the water is on the west side of the land. So they are absorbing the energy from the west. In China, they are absorbing the energy from the east. So when China is going better and better, and Canada will going worse and worse. Because they are, both of the lands try to share this energy and see who will be the winner. So on the same theory, you build a house, your main door is direct facing to another building. The building, the main door is same as you, on the same line. You are on the same line. So you two are trying to share the energy, and where the energy flow, well, it should be more attention. So maybe this part of the building will be rich, and of course this part will not be rich. Of course, compare with each other, because they share the energy. Okay. Any question?
Should we move on to the video? I think our time
Okay.
is...
Yeah. Maybe, you mean a video or the slide? There is some movement. It is belonging to the positive energy. And you are staying in the house. And the house was still on the same location, gate from the house to outside. And sometimes you will find the outside energy will escape, try to shut in your house. It's all because the different parts of temperature, so they try to balancing each other. So in this A, it will form a suction force. They will suck all the energy from your house. It form, of course, you will not be vacuum, but it's almost nearly vacuums on the good energy. But this is too much. Why? Because it carries all the energy, no matter good or bad. They go rush in your house. So compare with these two. This is the worst. This one is better than this. Okay? Okay. Let's use the car to explain. When the car rushes from this direction to this direction on a high speed, while they are running on the dirty city, there are many garbage over here. So, what do you think? The garbage, they will chasing after the car, or they will repel out from the car? A or B? A. Anybody tell me it's B? No? Okay. Well, because the car, they are rapid to run to this direction. This part of air was suddenly empty. Another part of the wind, the temperature, they try to go in to refill this area. So it formed the wind. And also because the wind flow from this direction, it carry the garbage. The garbage will chasing after the car. So on the same theory, when your house was built on the end of the road, although the car was traversing your house and then it suddenly turned, but still the garbage will be carried inside your house. So it will give you a bad energy. Water. If you find the mountain shape is like this way and go straight towards to any direction, this is a dragon, but this dragon is absolutely no use. This is a dead dragon. But if you find the mountain shape was suddenly change and change and change, so and also the dragon shape, because it's changed, it also carry the wind was also to be changed, not direct facing to you. And this is the real alive dragon. So, according to the theory on the first beginning, before we find the shapes of the dragon, of the mountain, we have to notice the shape of the river flow. So, there are two dragons. So, if you find the river flow in this way, that means this is the lower part of this part of the mountain. That's why the water really but this is the water dragon. The dragon was straight ahead to your direction, or reverse from your direction. This dragon. Okay. So you will from this here. There's a smart